Hello friends, I welcome you all to my channel. This video is part of the playlist Python Basics Programming Beginner's Daily Dose, where I try to discuss on concepts of Python basic programming which are widely used in beginner level programming. So, so that beginner level programmers will get uh, an insight of how the concepts work behind the scenes in Python. So this is part 2 of the list comprehension. In the previous part 1, I discussed the very basic, I gave a very basic overview of how list comprehension works in Python and with some simple demonstration. In this part 2, I will discuss more on the structure of the list comprehension and how we can use nested for statements along with if clause to in list comprehension to generate more complex data. Before I get started, I will highly request if you are watching my videos regularly, then please support me by subscribing to my channel and share my videos with your friends, like them, and please do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified by my future videos. So let's just start it with this video. Okay, first let me explain the the structure of the general structure of a list comprehension statement. So the basic structure is we use square bracket, and then the first is an expression, let's say expression, and then we have a for statement. This is a for statement, that is foreign statement, and after foreign statement we can have either a if statement or another for statement. So after the first for statement we can have one or more if or for statement. So this is the syntax I am using. This is the basic structure of the list comprehension statement or expression. So let's take some examples. uh, I'm taking very basic examples. Let's say x into x. The first foreign statement is for x in range, let's say 1 2 3. So it would be 1 comma 4. And now this is a very basic list comprehension statement where we have only the expression and the for statement. We don't have any further if clause or for statement. So this will basically return the list, or will create the list 1 comma 4 comma 9. So 1 square, 2 square, and 3 square. So now you must understand how this list comprehension is working, how we are getting this list 1 comma 4 comma 9 from this list comprehension. So let me write down this the equivalent code for this list comprehension. This is equivalent to, let's say we have a temporary list which will be returned. Let's say it is L. We have this, and we have the for in statement for x in range 1 comma 4, and then we are doing L append x multiplied by x. So for ins, and then we are returning L. So this is an equivalent code that works behind the scenes of this list comprehension. Now this is a very basic one. Let's take a little more complex. Let's say we have an if clause. Let's say using the example 1, we will only create the list of x into x where x is a odd integer. So uh, x is an odd integer, so the returned list will be 1 comma 9. 4 will be ignored because let's write the list comprehension, then you will understand. X for x in range 1 comma 4, if, here comes the if clause, if we will consider only the x if x is odd. So modulo 2 equals to 1. So if x is odd, then only we will create the element x into x in the new list. So this should give 1 comma 9. And basically the equivalent code for this list comprehension is like this. We have the empty list for x in range, same for in statement that we have mentioned in the list comprehension, and then this if clause will get inside the for in statement. So if x modulo 2 equals to 1, then only we will consider the x into x element in the new in the returned element. So if this, then L dot append, what we are appending the expression which is x into x. This is the equivalent code. Now we can quickly check this out in the Python shell. So the first one is x for x in range 1 comma 4. Range 1 comma 4, it will give a sequence 1 2 3. So this should give 149. Now when we add the if clause, if x percentage 2 equals to 1, so we are only considering those x where x is odd. So if x is odd, only then we will insert we will consider the expression x into x in the new list. So this should give 1 9. Okay. Now let's see. Now uh, I just want to let you know this general expression. You see this general expression, this general expression, how this actually gets, how this code actually gets translated to the equivalent code, just like I've written for example 1 and 2. So what happens is, let's say we have okay, I think it will be better if I take a concrete example, so then you will get a better idea. Let's say we are processing two lists. We are processing two lists uh, where we will use the range. Let's say we are creating tuple x comma y. We are creating tuple x comma y for where the x is coming from the first foreign statement where the iterable is 1 2 3. So range we will have 1 4. I have to increase. Okay. So this, and then we will have a nested for the y, for y in range, let's say this iterable is the first iterable, that is range 1 4, we will have 1 2 3, and let's say where we have 4 5 6, so 4 to 7. So if we do this, what we will have, for y in range is a nested for statement inside the for x in range. So this will create a list of all ordered pairs x comma y, where x is coming from x in the from the first list and y is coming from the second list, that is from the iterable of the second, that is nested for statement. So uh, this should give the list from in the first foreign statement we have the list 1 2 3, and over here we have 4 5 6. So 1 comma 4 comma 1 comma 5 comma 1 comma 6, and then we will have 2 comma 4 2 comma 5 2 comma 6, and then we will have 3 comma 4 3 comma 5 and 3 comma 6. I hope I am right. Let's quickly check this out. We are creating a tuple. Uh, we are creating a tuple x comma y, where x is 1 to 4, and we are having another nested for in statement. So for y in range, this will be 4 7. What does this give? 1 4 1 5 1 6 1 4 1 5 1 6 2 4 2 5 2 6 3 4 3 5 3 6. Okay, fine. Now so how this list is created, what code is actually executing behind the scenes for this list comprehension? Let's quickly understand that. So we are having a temporary list, the list that actually is being created. This, then we start with the outermost, that is the leftmost foreign statement, the range 1 comma 4. Then we have the nested foreign statement, that is the for y, that is the next foreign statement, for y in range 4 7, and then we are doing, and then there is no if clause, so we are basically creating the xy tuple. So L dot append, this is what the code is happening, and then finally return L. Now what if we want to modify this list comprehension example 3 with an if clause? We will only consider those pair x and y where, let's say, where x is odd, and I'm just taking an example, we can think of anything else, any clause. Let's say we will only consider x comma y, the tuple x comma y, where x is odd and y is even. So what will be the list comprehension statement for that? So that will look like, I'm not sure if it will fit, x comma y for x in range 1 comma 4, then for y in range 4 comma 6. Now until this point we are considering, we have the nested for in statement for y inside the for x, and we are considering all the xy pairs. But after this, if we do if we add an if clause, if we want to consider all those pairs x and y where x is odd. So x modulo 2 equals to 1. If we do this, then it will create all the xy pairs where x is only odd, but it will consider all the y in the nested foreign statement. But we are trying to create all the xy pairs where x is odd and y is even. So what we have to do is we have to again add another if clause where y should be even. This list comprehension will create the list of ordered pairs x and y where x is coming from the first iterable, that is from the first foreign statement. Y element is coming from the nested foreign statement, and we are considering only those x and y where x is odd and y is even. So now this should create the list. We are considering only the x which is odd. So for x in range 1 comma 4, we are getting 1 2 3. Now the odds are only 1 and 3. So we will have 1, but regarding y, we are only considering the even y's, the y which is even in the nested foreign statement. In the nested foreign statement, the iterable is 4 5 6. So 4 and 6. So 1 4 1 6, and then 3 4 3 6. I hope this should be the answer. Let's check that out. So but we will just add the if clause. If x modulo 2 equals to 1, and then another if modulo 2 equals to 0. Let's see. We have 1 4 1 6 3 4 and 3 6. Now, so let me translate this, what is happening actually behind the scenes, what code is actually running. Then you will get a pretty good idea of how these inside the list comprehension, this for statement, this if, how they are working according to their order, how they are affecting the creation of the list. So this code will be translated to, we will have obviously the list that will be created. So we are temporary list, then we have the first, the outermost, that is the leftmost for statement, x in the range 1 comma 4. Then inside we will have this next foreign statement for y in range 4 comma 7, and then we will have inside the for nested foreign statement, we will have the first if statement. So if x modulo 2 equals to 1, then inside this if statement we will have the next if statement, that is if y percentage 2 equal to 0, then only the expression, that is x comma y, will be considered an element of the newly created list, the list that we are actually creating with the list comprehension. So now we will do append x comma y. This is the code that is actually running behind the scenes. So we have already checked this code, it's working. Now I hope you got a pretty good idea what is the general structure of the list comprehension, and how and what is the role of all the for statements and the if clauses. So Now remember, after the first foreign statement, after the first foreign statement, we can have one or more occurrences of either for or if clause. So we can have like this. Now I won't write any correct code. Uh, I'm just trying to make you understand the general structure of the list comprehension and what will be the underlying code. So I will just use some symbols. So let's say this is an expression, and let's say we have the first for, let's say this is the first for one foreign statement. Let's say we have then uh, if statement, if clause, if one. Let's say again we have uh, for, this is for two statement. Let's say we have if, the next if statement. Now let's say this is the list comprehension that we are writing, where E is some expression, for one is will be some foreign statement, if one will be some if clause, and for two will be some another foreign statement, and if two is another if two clause. So roughly the actual code that will run behind this list comprehension to actually create the new list is something like this. We will have the temporary list, then we will have the for one statement. Inside that we will have the if one statement. If it is true, if it is true, then only inside that we will have the next for two statement, for two statement, and inside the for two statement we have if two. If two is true, if two is true, then only we are doing l append e whatever e is. I hope this makes sense to you. So just I'm just trying to make you understand. See how the different if and the for, the different if clauses and the for statements as they are mentioned in order in the list comprehension, how they are, how how they are playing role in actually creating the new list. So the first for statement is the outermost for one statement, and then the next if one will get inside the for one if one is evaluated to true, then only we will have the nested for two statement. And inside the for two statement, if the if clause if two is evaluated to 2, then only we will consider e as the an element of the new list. Okay, so just to give you a final example, so I am considering a very random example. It will create a random list with no sense. I'm just trying to make you understand how the list comprehension works. So let's say we are doing something like this. Let's say, let's say uh, there is let's say uh, we have the first for uh, x in range, let's say 1 comma 4. Then we have, let's say uh, if uh, x if x greater than 1, if x greater than 1, we have another for statement for y in range 4 comma 6. And then after this, actually I don't have space on the right hand side, so I'm writing it below. Let's say we have if let's say if i'm just I'm just using a very random logic, a meaningless random logic. So let's say if x plus y modulo uh, is if x plus y is even, is even. Okay, this is, and the element that we are considering is, let's say, uh, uh, x divided by y. This can be anything from the using the elements from the respective iterables. Okay, if this is the list comprehension, if we are using, what actually is happening behind the scenes is L equals to temporary array, then the first foreign statement uh, for x in range 1 comma 4, and then the if. So we will have if inside the foreign statement for x. So if x greater than 1, and then inside this if we will have this next foreign statement. So for y in range 4 comma 6, and the last if will be inside the for y in range. So if x plus y modulo 2 equals to 0, only then we are appending what we are appending here. The expression is x divided by y, and finally we are doing return L. I have no idea what will be the list that is will be created, but still I'm trying. Let me. Uh, so the first iterable is 1, 2, 3, and the next the for y is this range is 4, 5, 6. So okay, so for x in range 1 comma 4, 1, 2, 3, if x greater than 1, so we will only consider 2 and 3. Okay, 2 and 3, and then for y in range 4, we are having 4, 5, 6. So x plus y, so 2 uh, we have here. So the summation has to be even. So if x is 2, we will have x plus y even if y is 4. Sorry, this will be okay, leave it. So this range for y in range 4 comma 6, it will have only 4. It will have 4 and 5. Okay, 4 and 5. So the next range, the for y in range 4 comma 6 is 4 comma y. The list is sequence is 4 and 5. So for we will consider only x greater than 1, which is 2 and 3, and then for 2, when x is 2, we will have we will consider only those y which is making x plus y even. So this range has 4 and 5, so it will be 4. So 4. So we will have 2 by 4. So 2 by 4 comma, uh, 5 will not be considered because 2 plus 5 is not even. Now, if x is 3, then we cannot take 4, 5. So 8. So 3 by 5. I think this should be the list. I don't know. Let's check this out. So this is x comma y. Actually, we should not write over here. This should be the parentheses should not be there, because that gives a different meaning. Should be x comma y, x by y. Now let's see. This is x by y for x in range, but here we have taken 4, 6, 6. Now what? No. So in between this, we have taken if x greater than 1, and for y in range 4 comma 6, if x plus y is this and this. will not be there. What does this give? 0.5. Okay, the first one is, this is basically uh, half, so this is 0.5, and what is 3.5? 0.6. So we are getting 0.5 and 0.6. So that was all for this video. I hope you got a pretty now a better insight of how the list comprehension works when the list comprehension structure is a bit complex. So this is the general structure. This is the general structure. So inside the square bracket, we have the first expression and then a for statement. And after the for statement, you can have one or more if or for statement, if clause or for statement. The first one was so now I have discussed a few simple examples and more little advanced. Uh, I hope you understood these examples and how the code behind the scenes work for creating the list by using the list comprehension. Yeah, that was it. If you have any doubt on this regarding how uh, the different if clause and the for statements inside the list comprehension is actually playing a role in creating the new list, I will be more than happy to answer your question within my limits and capacity. Please do let me know if you have any doubts or any question on this. So this was part 2. In the part 3, I will try to come up with more useful content regarding list comprehension, perhaps with more meaningful example regarding how we can create a multi-dimensional list using list comprehension. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. And as usual, please, uh, if this video was beneficial to you, then please support me by subscribing to my channel. Like this video, share this video with your friends, and please do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified by my future videos, as I will be posting these kind of videos on Python basics programming to make you understand how things work behind the scenes quite frequently. So stay tuned for my future videos. Yes, until then, take care and bye.